Okay, well, Facebook signed off. We can talk amongst ourselves. What do you hate? What do you hate, Facebook? Okay, so that was fun, right? I mean, that was a lot of fun. It really was. And you know me. I go around the country almost every weekend doing stand-up in crazy places like Alabama, and you know what happened was I've been doing stand-up, you know, because I'm 38 now. So sad that that's funny, but for a number of years, and I mean, and I've been doing my show on television for 23 years. 23 years between politically incorrect and real time. It's amazing where time goes. But thank you, I appreciate that, and I love your loyalty too. But here's the thing, in all that time, I have never, ever encountered a situation like this with Trump in a couple of ways. And the one I'm talking about now is, as a comedian, I've never encountered something that the audience wanted to hear for a full hour. Even though it's awful, you can't take your mind off it. And, you know, so that I said, well, he's hopefully not going to be in our lives that much after Tuesday. So let's fucking burn off this material. Because it was, I mean, I got to give it to him. No one was ever fucking funnier. I mean, it's funny if he loses. If not, you know, Canada, here we come. I mean, it's just, we are all going to be shitting in our pants. And the other thing about him, and, you know, I don't know how old folks are in the audience. I usually get the whole range. But it's so hard to convey to people who are under 30, say, how unique Donald Trump is. How unique. And if you know a millennial, maybe one lives in your house. You know, please impress that upon them. I mean, I've never felt this way, and nobody who has seen many elections has really felt this way about a candidate. You know, I mean, John McCain, I didn't agree with him on a lot of stuff. There was never a problem he met that he didn't want to solve with weaponry. Mitt Romney was a hollow man, a thought experiment by Westworld or something. I mean, I don't know what he was, you know. Reagan was ignorant but not vile. Nixon was vile but not ignorant. I could have lived with them all. This is different. This is a true lunatic, and yeah, and scary, and somebody who is all about vengeance and doesn't know anything and doesn't believe in global warming, and I mean the list just goes. It's just a giant nightmare waiting to happen. And I guess it would say also that it's the chickens come home to roost in a country that didn't educate its people. You know, I know a lot of young people. Okay, they're all strippers, but I know them. They're great friends of mine, and they make an incredible focus group. But yeah, this is what happens when we live in a fact-free election cycle, where a candidate like this man can get up and just say anything. I mean, when he said that thing about 650 million people coming in a week, I was like, really? There are people that dumb that they can hear a thing like that? And then I remember saying once to a girlfriend, I don't know how we got on the subject, but like, you know, how many people are there in the world? And, you know, she wasn't stupid. It's just they let people out of high school without knowing anything. So they never even got to that. They never get to almost anything. Education is such bullshit. And a lot of the reason is because parents side with the kids and not the teachers. When I was a kid, you couldn't drive a wedge between the parent and the teacher, and now it's all wedge, okay? It's always the teacher's fault, never their precious darlings. Anyway, she had no idea what the population of the world is, and I bet you lots of people don't. So when Donald Trump says 650 million people, well, if you don't know what the population of the world is, if you don't know that the country is 320 million, and you might think billion, really. Or you might think the world has 7 trillion people in it instead of 7 billion. I mean, then it's not crazy. And it's like I've always said, politicians can say anything because the people don't know anything. And this is that times a billion. So, you know, I guess what I'm saying is I'm going to vote for Trump. No. because I've got my own ass to think about. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. No. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying I like Vancouver, but please, I love my LA. I don't want to leave LA. I love LA. Don't you love LA? I've lived here since 1983. I moved out here from New York. I grew up in New Jersey. New York was second home. My father worked there. I lived there once when I was young and poor. I worked there later when I was first doing politically incorrect, doing better. It was not my town. This is my town. And that's, it's no knock on New York. It's like who you find as a partner in life. You didn't wind up with this one. She's not a bad person. It's just that this one was your person. This was my town. I don't want to leave here. I mean, it's colder up there. They got weed. They got weed in Vancouver. That's true. I went there in 1999 because I heard you could smoke, like in a regular cafe, and you can, and it was nice. But not just to feel that, but what I found out was and only in like one little part of town, and you couldn't even buy the weed at the, you had to score on the street, and then smoke it in the cafe because we need to separate the vices. So it's not quite as cool as you think it is, but I still got baked. So the day was a success, as we all know. So does anybody have any questions here while we're just bullshit? How was it with the president? Well, he's a cool cat. It was great, I would have rather had him in our studio with an audience because that's a whole different vibe. This was like 60 Minutes because I was in the Roosevelt Room with the White House, and yeah, it was cool. I mean, that was cool too. Look, I asked him all the questions that I thought our audience, my audience, the audience that has been, and me, so scary to this president and the Clintons for 8 years. I mean, I said to him, how come it took so long? 8 years and a petition for a guy who gave you $1 million. I'm a scary guy, And, he's great. He'll answer anything. But, the questions I asked are not the ones he usually gets. About pot, about why do we have an empire, about, do we not ask enough of the people? You don't ask them to learn anything, to vote, to eat better. Those kind of questions, which I think food purity, which matters a lot to me. Factory farming and, California stuff. I asked him California stuff. But, we are like 40 million people, the biggest state, the trendsetter. Why do we, he was super generous with his time. Super generous. He obviously was enjoying himself. But one question I didn't get to is, he's a constitutional law professor. How come California has 40 million people and 2 senators, and Wyoming has 2 senators, and like the population of, Torrance? But hopefully he'll do our show when he's out of office. But it was great, and the first thing he said to me was persistence. We persisted all year, every avenue we could use, and he said, persistence, boy. It paid off. He said, that's how I got Michelle to marry me. So that's a lesson for you kids. Yeah, it pays to be persistent because I wouldn't let it go. And when I announced on Real Time on Friday night that he was coming on, I could tell from the reaction of the people, they took it very personally. They wanted him to be on that show. Hell yeah. And, like I said, he came through in the end like he did for the country. Yeah. I'm so glad about that, too, because forevermore I would have been divided about him. I would have always said, because I'm an honest broker, great president, but I would have had to say, but, I have this other reservation that, he kind of dissed my crowd. But it's all good now. Okay. Any other question that people have? What am I going to do? A, shit my pants. Okay, then get done with that. Hold my breath, like all of us, because this is so uncharted territory. I mean, I'm curious to see what the reaction. First of all, I think one of the ironies is that he's the money guy. He's rich. He's got money, so he's a genius. He's going to completely tank the stock market before he even takes office. Because the stock market is very conservative. They pretend they don't like Obama. They love him because he's calm and smart and measured, no surprises, no stupidity, no unforced errors. Donald Trump is all volatility. That's what the market hates. So, I took my money out of the stock market when he looked possible. And my broker called me a couple of weeks ago. He said, "You want to put it back in? It's looking pretty good for Hillary." I said, "You stick to money. I know politics." This race is going to tighten up. And I didn't realize it would get this tight. It's almost as tight as my asshole. What? Who do I think's really going to win? Well, yes, I know. Yeah. Well, you're here for the first hour. We don't fucking know, okay, pal? That's why we have elections. We're hopeful, but you should not be overconfident. I mean, there was, when I looked on my phone the first thing today, there was 3 maps that somebody had showing Trump's path to victory. Some of the states that were looking like in her bag are not in her bag anymore. Nevada looked good. She's behind by 6. She thought she could win. There was a high point of optimism. Oh, we could win Arizona and Georgia and, it's, who knows what the fucking, I don't trust the polls completely, although that Brexit thing is a bit of a myth. They did predict that could happen. The lesson there is they didn't want to believe it, same as Trump was always leading in the polls, and the Republicans didn't want to believe it. Oh, it couldn't really happen. Well, it fucking did. So it could happen here, yeah. And if there is one characteristic I would assign to Donald Trump above all his horrible characteristics, vengeful, vindictive. So states that didn't vote for him, people that were against him, that's his agenda. That's the most important thing to him. If you say something nice like Putin did, he loves you for the rest of his life. Because that's how childish he is. Putin's a great guy because he said Donald Trump was brilliant. If you criticize him, you're on his shit list forever. I hope you didn't mean me specifically. I hope you meant we're dead. Do I get heckled in the red states? You're so funny. No, they love me so much more. Seriously. There are so many, what's that? I do, because I love it. Because, okay, first of all, nobody in America ever usually wins an election by more than 60-40. So that means 40% of the red states are blue. And when a liberal comes, they're so happy you came. And they're not politically correct. They don't have a stick up their ass about lots of stuff in my regular act that if I went to, you motherfuckers would probably get upset about. And I've had it about up to here with that. The people who are lambasting Hillary Duff for going as a pilgrim on Halloween can suck my fucking dick. I'll move to Alabama before I give up on that idea. So, yeah, that's why. Also, I would say this to you. When you travel this country, what you learn is it's not the state, it's city versus country. If you're in a city of some size, it's all the same. Birmingham, Alabama looks like Fairfax. Not as many Jews, that's true. But, they're not Hicks. Or at least half the population isn't. There's lots of people. The South is not your grandfather's South. I'm in the South all the time. Sometimes I'm there for days. You don't even hear a Southern accent. It's warm. People like that. And slowly they're getting smarter. The internet has generally made people stupider. But with religion, it's done a great service because you can Google Mormonism and go, wow, you people are fucking nuts. Mitt Romney used to come to your door with a pamphlet, and that's all you knew about it. And now... So yeah, I love the red states or the places I go. Yeah, you wouldn't want to go, half hour outside of Birmingham, Alabama. That would be a big mistake to walk into a biker bar there. But, as long as you stick to the cities, you're okay. Like a badger. Go to the garbage can you've tipped over before, and you'll be fine. such a great question. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to do it for a long time here. I mean, part of it is that there isn't a viable third, there's only one of two who's going to win. So it's such a bullshit, idea to begin with. I mean, a third party, it would be great if America had a system where we had multiple parties. I mean, a parliamentary system does. But, in our system, which is fairly unique in democracies, we don't have that. So it's probably never going to be viable. We've seen about 2.5 centuries of evidence on this. Third parties have always sprang up. When they're popular enough, their ideas get absorbed by one of the two big ones. So they never get really above 20%. So they're never going to win. If we had a parliamentary system, it would be different, but we don't. So in that system, and I made the mistake in 2000 of, Ralph Nader. And it was a mistake. And I'm here to tell you, I learned. Look what we got. Bush, and, the world would have been very different under President Al Gore. We wouldn't have wasted 10 years on climate change. We wouldn't have gotten into Iraq. Maybe not the financial collapse. I mean, some really major stuff. I don't know. Logic, I wish I could tell you that logic is going to carry the day. Just tell them this argument. And that's just not the country we live in. It's when you hear the reasons, I was listing some of them, in the show. He's going to shake things up. It's very hard to argue with just that feeling. We should run the country like a business. Dumb idea. The government doesn't work anything like a business. It's like saying let's run the Red Cross like a crack house. So I wasn't very helpful there, was I? I don't know. Tell them I'll come over and take a selfie with them. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Well, everybody asks me that. I don't know. I don't know because, contrary to popular belief, I don't know Ann Coulter like people think I do. I've known her for a long time, but I can honestly say, to my knowledge, I have never fucked a Republican, and I'm proud of that. Now, and I'm getting a lot of credit for that. No, I mean, that's just to my knowledge, but but I don't know. Does Ann Coulter believe? Yeah, I actually think she does. And if you read her books, which I haven't, but she does go into greater detail, and that's the great conundrum of how can people who are smart, you can't deny, that Scalia, smart. I mean, Ted Cruz, clerk for the Supreme Court, Harvard, Princeton. You can't deny that people who have, fucking retarded beliefs are also smart. So, that's one of the real key paradoxes for me in life is, wow, you're smart and I still can't get through to you. You're smart and you still believe something totally stupid. That's a little depressing. How do you get through? What's that? Avenue to power and money. So, yeah.
The path they've chosen to get the power they want. And, a lot of people believe in that path.
So you don't think they really believe it? They just do it for money and power?
And they sell themselves.
Enough about Dennis Miller. Let's talk about the election. Let's talk about the election, ladies. It's a terrible thing. This is. The media, yes, I mean, I've had such contempt for the media for so long. The fact that America, and of course they take a lot of blame. The fact that the people think that Trump is so much more honest than Hillary, I lay that at the foot of the media. The media's got to own that one, because that comes from the media wanting this to be a close race. It's always better for them if it's a horse race. So to play up Hillary's fairly non-consequential scandals, like I say, she deflated a few balls. She didn't blow up the stadium. That's the media doing that. And I don't know if that's going to change, because as long as I'd asked Obama this, the first question was about socialism. And I was like, does everything have to be for profit? Certainly healthcare shouldn't be, prisons shouldn't be, the military, elections. And, news gathering didn't used to be a profit thing. That was a lost leader for the networks. They didn't care if they made money on the news division. And now they do, so it's a race to the bottom. And that's why the newscasts are so just traitors to journalism is what I would say. The good news is the show I executive produce, Vice, has a nightly newscast, which is awesome. Have you seen the Vice nightly newscast? Yeah. It's like, isn't it about time we had a newscast like that? First of all, I love it that they got rid of the anchor, asshole. You don't need to look at some guy telling you this. It's not 1950. Just show us what happened with a voiceover. And also, the priorities. I worked with them on this. The priorities are much closer to what the news priorities are. And no story for 3 minutes about a one-legged skier. You know, a kid with leukemia who hit a foul shot. I mean... Slow, well, every day's a slow news day. Oh, you made this one.
But my neighbor's kid thought it was a pinata and hit it in the head.
So that's what this hole is? Your neighbor's kid thought it was a pinata? We got to build a wall. And that's so obvious. We have got to build a wall, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say that makes it more special. And it's just because Trump is an orangutan? Is that okay? All right. Well, that's it's beautiful. Thank you very much. Yeah. Right. You know what? Now I could make a bong out of it. See? This is me next Tuesday. Oh my God, he's ahead in Nevada. Well, thank you. I will treasure that. I came on your art piece. Sorry. Actually, looks kind of cool like that. What happened? James Comey, yeah. Well, you know, I don't think he did the right thing. It's weird because it puts liberals in a difficult position because he did a couple of things. You know, he exonerated her. I mean, I wouldn't have done it like after trashing her for 15 minutes and then at the end, oh, and by the way, she's innocent. That was weird. But the thing he did at Ashcroft's bedside was pretty awesome. I was, you know, liked him for that. But I don't know. I think the guy just likes to be in the spotlight, you know, and that's not a good thing for the FBI director. And you know, like Obama said today, you know, you just don't put it out there unless you have something. I get it that he was in a tough place because if it came out after the election, yes, it would look like, oh wow, why didn't you say this before? But couldn't he have said, because we didn't know anything before? And by the way, why can't they know anything before? How hard is it to go through one person's emails, even if they've written a lot of emails? You've got the whole FBI. Take a few guys off of, you know, counterfeiting. It's only the whole fucking world writing on this, and read Hillary's email. What? It's just, I don't know. So I don't know what to say about James Comey, but you know, he did an asshole thing. He really did. I mean, if this election gets tilted the wrong way, you know, he's got a lot to answer for. So, what's that?
Did he say anything to you yesterday about the election?
Yes, he's for Hillary. What's it? Yes, he said something to me, and I'm going to share it just with you, and them, and Facebook, and then. No, but you know, I mean, the fact that you know a lot of people have made hay about the fact that Obama was so funny mocking Trump at the correspondence dinner, and that maybe that's why Trump, you know, is doing this just for revenge. Yeah, that could be. He's a vengeful guy. And I'm the one who said his mother fucked a monkey. So I am, you know, I'm telling you, I have a lot at stake in this election. I'm not just doing this for my, you know, I mean, I love doing it, but really, I'm telling you, there's never been an election like this. Never. So I'm telling you, let me return to that theme, younger people. This is so unique, so different. There's never been someone like this who is a lunatic. A know-nothing lunatic, a vile nincompoop, I think what, if she loses, I think the big story is going to be, you know, we thought we were a country that was pretty much over sexism. Not so much. You know, I think, you know, it's politically correct to pretend, oh, I like a strong woman, and you dig down a little deeper, and I don't know, you know, I had a guest on my show, and I asked the question, you know, do you think where America's ready for a woman president? And she was like, oh, what a stupid question. It's not a stupid question. I wish it was a stupid question.
Can you make the same argument?
Well,
That's an excuse for her being a pretty shitty politician.
she is a shitty politician, and you're right. Elizabeth Warren is a better politician. So that's part of it. But I think, you know, a lot of people like to say, you know what, if John Kasich was the Republican candidate, he'd be wiping the floor with her. Well, you know, we don't know until we see what happens, because that's when the hate machines go into effect. Bernie could have beat him. Well, we don't know. What would the Republicans have done with an avowed socialist? And Jewish. Thank you, Jew person. Right. So, you know, I mean, who knows what they would have done with Pocahontas. Now, if the Indians win the series, I don't know what happened tonight. It would have looked better. Okay, so, what's that? I take great exception to the word evil. I find that the height of ignorance. There is nothing evil about Hillary Clinton. If you are that threatened by Hillary Clinton, you are molested by a real estate lady. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to leave you with that. I know when I'm ahead.